Welcome back to the CardinalSports.com Premium Recruiting Chat. I'm your host, Dave Lackford, and you got questions, I got the answers. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into them. Actually, let's waste some time real quick. Not waste some time, but let's talk about the fact that today at 2 o'clock, I'm recording this right now at 5, Louisville picked up a commitment from Valdosta, Georgia linebacker Jaylon Anderson. He's a 3-star. He was recruited by Derek Nicholson, Coach Nick, as they call him, the kids call him. That was a fast one. It escalated quickly. He was offered in March, and he's committed in July. So that's April, May, June. That's like 3 months, give or take a few weeks. And Nicholson came in there and handled his business. Now, it's not like you beat Alabama for the kid or anything like that. And Louisville was his only Power 5 offer. But nonetheless, they saw their target and they acted fast and they went ahead and they got a commitment. Now, I also think that Alderman would be one of those kids who, had he had the opportunity to camp at different schools, you would have seen his offer list increase. I don't think he's a reach because I think that he has the talent to definitely be a starter in the ACC. And so I think it was a nice pickup. I feel like he's the type of kid, probably need a year or two to get ready, but I could see him definitely, as a starter by his redshirt sophomore year or maybe even redshirt freshman year, he cracks it too deep and contributes. So, it's not like they got Ray Lewis, but the dude ain't a bum. He could play. He's fast. He can move. He's got a decent frame. He's 6'1", 215. So, you can add another 15 pounds to that, and the kid can run. He's raw. He's going to have to learn, like everybody else is, how to adjust to the speed of the game in the ACC. And, the blockers that are going to be coming to second level to get him are going to be bigger. So he's going to have to learn how to destroy blocks with good hand technique at the point of attack, things of that nature. But, you rank the clay, not the pot. And I think that there's a lot of good clay to work with there. So with that out of the way, let's get right into the questions. The first question is from Telser47. Telser says, what's the latest on Prince Kollie? And did we pump the brakes on James Jackson or did we just lose? With James Jackson, that's a situation where with both of these kids, really, Louisville is kind of recruiting against their coach. So James Jackson's coach went to Virginia and kind of steering him that way. And the way I did some digging, and from what I was told, James Jackson will probably fit in a little bit better with the kids down in Virginia than he would here at Louisville, all right? So take that for what it's worth, all right? But that's what I was told. And then so he's not coming to Louisville. That's a wrap, okay? So whatever. And I was told that the staff wasn't very happy about the way things shook out, and they're looking forward to seeing Virginia. Now, when it comes to Prince Kollie, that's a situation where I think Prince really, really likes Louisville. Like if it was up to Prince right now, I think you could say Louisville leads. However, there are some people in his corner kind of saying, don't jump the gun, trying to, I don't want to say steer, but for lack of a better word, steer him to a bigger school. And you see, it's Notre Dame, LSU, Georgia, and I think Tennessee. He's from Tennessee. So you got Notre Dame, 3 SEC schools, and Louisville, right? So from what I've been told, LSU just picked up its 4th linebacker commit. It rivals 100 linebacker Greg Penn. He's from Maryland. So I think they're full. They have 4. All right. Now there's a kid named Rajon Davis who's committed to them. He's from, I think, Mater Dei out in California. He's a 4-star, big-time guy. And there's been a lot of speculation that he could flip to USC. My people with Ohio State are telling me that Ohio State's trying to get him. But recently he did an interview with the LSU site, Tiger Details, where he basically said, hey, look, I'm the lead recruiter out here. I ain't going nowhere. I love Coach O, et cetera. So who knows what's going to happen with that one. But LSU, I was told 2 weeks ago before Penn committed to LSU, that Kollie was, in fact, a take for the Tigers. So that's what that is. But from the things that I've gotten from the Louisville side of things, it's that he really likes Louisville, wants to, really likes the staff. He's a very spiritual person. And, the coaching staff here at Louisville, they're all very spiritual people. Satterfield talks about that a lot. Pete Nocta is heavy in the faith, and he's one of the guys that's recruiting Kollie a lot. And Kollie and Pete have a good relationship. If you don't know Pete's personal story, he was diagnosed with I want to say some, I forget what form, but he had cancer, and faith was a big thing for him in overcoming that situation in his life. And so there's a great bond there between the Louisville staff and Prince Kollie. But also Notre Dame is a Catholic school. I don't know, how faith weighs in that recruitment so much, because I don't talk to Brian Kelly and those guys over there. But some industry people I know, friends of mine, tell me that they think that it's Notre Dame-Louisville battle right now. But then when I talk to the LSU people, they kind of say the same thing. So the one constant is it's always the school I cover in Louisville. That's what I keep hearing. So got to stay the course. If they pull Prince Kollie, that's a major, major recruiting victory, because he's a take for, I know LSU and I know Notre Dame for a fact. I don't know about Georgia or Tennessee. I would assume he's a take at Tennessee, but I feel like Tennessee has a lot of linebackers. But he's a multidimensional, dynamic type of player, in-state kid for Tennessee. So I would assume he's a take there. And I don't really know that much about Georgia. That's it. All right. Bardman wants to talk about the elephant in the room. Any movement from Sanders' camp? Yeah, they're moving to wherever FAU is. That's where he's going. By the time this comes out, he probably have already committed. Maybe I'm wrong, but everybody told me FAU. My people down in Florida said FAU. I think Willie Taggart won out. What I was told was Louisville stopped recruiting this kid about a month ago, 3 weeks ago. There was concerns over, his willingness to run in the offense. Now, Satterfield's offense run heavy, and sometimes a quarterback's going to have to do some read options, and if he sees a lane or something opens up, he's got to pull the ball, he got to run. And I don't think Shedeur has the desire to operate in that system. So that's what it is. And one of the questions that's going to be asking me later on here is, why'd you say you were done with Shedeur Sanders? Because I don't cover FAU. And I didn't want to – I heard that that's where he was going, but I didn't have enough of a solid foundation to kind of say that at the time. So now I do feel comfortable. And even if he don't go to FAU, he's not going to Louisville. So that's what it is. But anybody that said, oh, he changed his mind the last minute, no, one that Louisville cooled on him. That's what it is. So if you say that he picked another school over Louisville in this one, and I'll tell you the truth. If Louisville lost the kid, they lost the kid. James Jackson, they just didn't win that. They lost to Virginia. It is what it is. He was a take. They were recruiting him. They put energy in. They didn't get him. But Shedeur Sanders, such is not the case. Speaking of quarterbacks, Vincent74 asks, what's the latest on TJ Lewis? Nothing really new there. Like I said, the staff will take him. He's not necessarily a top target to speak, but he at quarterback. But they want him. They'll take him in the class. I think the deal with him will kind of be like, look, we'll put you in a quarterback room for a year, and if it works out and you could develop and you could sling it, then you're the quarterback. If not, we're going to move you somewhere else. And it's been explained to me that that's fine. There's no big deal with that. So we'll see. Georgia Tech is another team that's in the mix for him and someone else. But I really haven't been following up on TJ Lewis because the quarterback recruiting is kind of under lock and key. I just got some information the other day on the Sanders thing that really made me think, okay, he's definitely not coming here. And it turned out I should have ran with it at the time, but I wanted to verify that through another source. You always want to get multiple sources before you report something. All right, but that's what's up as far as what I know about TJ Lewis. Louisville First Cards Forever asks, does Ben Perry have a set position he's going to play? Or are they waiting until he gets to campus? And is there anything new on Javon Grigsby? Man, I don't even know who Javon Grigsby is right now off the top of my head. So I had a long discussion with a few of my sources that's been ongoing for the last 2 days. I haven't heard anything about Javon Grigsby. But that doesn't mean that he won't commit tomorrow. That just means that his name didn't pop up when we were talking. I think he's probably a long shot though. And when it comes to Ben Perry's position, I was thought they're going to move him back to safety now because they want to put Jair at the car, or Jair Williams, T. Will's son. They're going to put him at the card, and I think they want to move Ben back to safety. And that's a smart move because in 2021, they're only going to have 3 safeties. It's going to be Fago, Lovey, Jenkins, and Josh Minkins. So putting Ben Perry back there, probably a smart move, and he'll probably start day one. I think it'll be Lovey, Jenkins, or Ben, but if he don't start day one, he's definitely going to play, unless he gets to campus and he just can't pick up the mental aspect of it, which kind of burns me on some kids sometimes when I say, yeah, they're definitely going to start day one and get to school and they're a little immature and they're not really doing the things they need to do. The kids are kids, man. They got to grow. They got to grow mentally just as much as they got to grow physically sometimes, right? So, but that's me getting ahead of myself. Ben Perry, for the moment, they're counting him as a safety because they're trying to get 2 more linebackers. One more linebacker because they just got Alderman. TDG Miller asks, do you still think we take 2 more O-line? And if so, what's your bet on who the 2 will be? Yeah, I think they'll take 2 more. 1 more for sure, a tackle. Now, it was told to me like this, okay? They're going to take the best players they can get. They just need long guys who can run. So if they're not going to take some run-of-the-mill offensive guard and then end up passing on a kid like Malachi Bennett, who's a wide receiver who put Louisville in the top 5. So the numbers right now, you could almost kind of throw the numbers out, to be honest. They just want tall, fast football players that can move. But the numbers that are probably static at this point in time, it's going to be the quarterback position, 1 tackle, 1 linebacker. Okay, those are certain. Oh, and probably Christian Peterson from California, if he wants to jump on at tight end. If Peterson doesn't jump on at tight end, which I expect him to do, then they're also recruiting a kid from Alabama named River Helms. All right, and I don't want to go into his film at the moment, but River Helms is his name. It's spelled phonetically River Helms, Helms. Helms, yes. Look it up. He's good. And if he comes to Louisville, y'all are going to like him. Problem is, I think what he's doing, he's from Alabama, and I think he's waiting on Auburn or Alabama to come calling for him. Now, he had an offer from Georgia. I think it was a camp offer. Then they canceled all the camps, so that's not committable. He does have an offer from Florida State, and that's definitely committable. But I talked to my Florida State source, and he said there hasn't been a lot of talk about him. Now, Louisville really likes Helms. So even if they get Peterson, Helms fits that category of tall, long, fast dude who has position versatility because he can play the move tight end, which would be Marshawn Ford, or he could play receiver. I mean, you could come out with him tight and then uncover and motion him out, and he could just be the Z receiver. He's that good. He's split end more so than a tight end, But that's what's up. And with the transfer of the Liberty DB, whose name escapes me right now, and I apologize for that. It's been a long day. Does the possibility leave 2 spots in this class for best player available? Is the staff still set on adding at least 1 more secondary player? Again, best player available. So if a kid in the secondary wants to jump on board, You know, say the Damon David kid wants to commit right now. I think they'll take him. Now, if someone's going to ask me about, I haven't read these. You're getting me reading these questions in real time. I don't know about Deuce Chestnut. Not sure he'd be a take right now because of the Liberty DB. And I like that kid better, honestly. I think he's faster. He's a little bit smaller. But he started as a true freshman at Liberty and was very productive. I think he defended 6 passes and had like 38 tackles. So and Liberty was pretty good last year. I think they won 8 games. So give me that kid all day. All right. So to answer your long-winded way of saying yes, the staff will take one more secondary player. And are there 2 spots for best available player in this class? Well, like I said, one of them probably going to be a tight end, quarterback, linebacker, and a tackle. So I would think one best available player, all right? Because they had 27 in this class, but 2 of them count towards last year. And the Liberty D, the transfer kid, he's going to count towards last year. And somebody else, I forget who off the top of my head, is going to count towards next year. So that's what it is. Lake Boy 25 says, heard anything on Damon David lately? Nope. But if he wants in, then he can come. Any recruits committed elsewhere that we should keep an eye on for a potential flip down the road? I don't think so. Not that I've heard. Jansen Dunn, like I said, the staff still talks to his father, but I think Jansen is pretty locked in with Ohio State, and it would take something crazy like Ohio State just dropping him or something like that, I think, to flip him, which then would it really be a flip? I don't know. But no, not off the top of my head, not that I can think of. H. Collett asks, have you heard any new developments with Christian Peterson or any other tight end Louisville is targeting? Already answered that. I think Peterson will be in the class, and also like River Holmes. If Louisville misses on Kollie, who do we target next for his position? Good question. Louisville's starting to try to figure that out. I posted on the board. I think I posted on the board about a kid named Jackson Kuwach. He is from Lakota West. I know the staff likes him. I saw him at the underclassmen report camp the Saturday that just passed. He's a big dude, 6'4.5", about 215. No bad weight on him. Looked like he's been working out. He's gotten a lot stronger since he was a junior last year. He's a 21 kid. So keep an eye out for him. He only has one offer from Eastern Illinois, but like Alderman, I think he's the type of kid who, if he would have had the chance to camp, he probably would have picked up some offers just on his frame and the way he moves. And if we have a season, I think that first 4-game huddle will be very important for him and could help him, become a hot commodity on the I guess you could say the late bloomer market, right? All right. Cardinal Cash, is it more likely we end up with Deuce Chestnut or Kollie, or is it about even? Who do you see us most likely finishing the class with for offense? Cardinal Cash always put me on the spot, man. I don't know, man. I don't know how to answer that question. Do you think it's most likely we end up with Deuce Chestnut? It could be likely we end up with both, or neither. I don't know. I would say I don't know anything about Chestnut. The kid's reclusive. He lives in Camden, New Jersey. All right, Killer Camden. He don't like talking to the media and reporters and stuff like that. I was told a long time ago that, Louisville led. I talked to Louisville sources a couple of days ago over the weekend. They get the vibe that, he was the number 1 guy on the list. So I say Kollie. I say Collie's higher on their board than him. They'll definitely take him. But I already explained the Kollie situation. So I don't know. Don't put me on the spot like that, because I'll say Kollie and then they'll get Chestnut and I'll look like an idiot, or the other way around. So I already have enough. I already do enough stupid stuff. I don't need to be doing anymore. Who do you see us most likely finishing the class with for offense? Well, Christian Peterson for one. On the offensive line, I don't really know because Ethan Mort was a guy they wanted. He decided to stay back in Florida. He chose UCF over Louisville. There's a couple guys out there on the offensive line they're targeting, but to be frank, I have not really been following any of them because most of the guys that they were on a while ago probably ain't going there. William Griffin, for one. I think that I spoke with an Alabama source, and I was told that he's a take, and like they're talking to him very, very frequently, and even that Nick Saban is talking to this kid a lot. So I think Alabama is a big-time player there. Tennessee is also a team I want to rule out. So watch out for him. There's also, if you go to his profile page, there's a story that was posted on the Alabama front page that you'll be able to view if you're a subscriber to the Louisville site. Go check that out. Look the guys up. You'll find a lot of information on these guys on their profile. If you look on the left-hand side of the screen and go down a little bit, you'll find out all the articles that were written about the kids. And if you find a recent one, click on that and you'll get a good idea what's going on. Shoot 677. Any playmaker with ties to Louisville, family or such, that might flip to us? No, not right now. Card for Life 32. Are we taking 2 more O-line, or could that be a flexible number? I think 1 more tackle, like I said, and I think all the numbers are flexible. You like this Alderman kid. It seems like they like him more than Chris Paul because he popped to Arkansas really quick after receiving that offer. Yeah, Chris Paul, like I said, I don't really think that he necessarily is the type of dude that is a good fit for Louisville. I think Arkansas is a good fit for him. In the SEC, it's a lot of smash mouth, and Paul's a big dude who gets downhill and thumps. But Louisville wants their middle linebackers to kind of be more like, multifaceted. They want to be able to drop, cover the seam, and do a lot of things like that. Get sideline to sideline because, the ACC is more spread out. So I don't think they really want just like a downhill run stuff and thumper who's going to just go down there and fly through the A gap to B gap looking for somebody to knock out. I think they want a guy that can go backwards just as good as he can go forward. Right. So that's what it is. But when it comes to the Alderman kid, let's pull up his. Let me share my screen real quick with you. And let's go to his film, which is right here. All right, and I do like Alderman. I think I gave a little breakdown of him in the beginning, but we could look at his film a little bit. See right there, you see how he's shuffling, seeking. He sees that crease and he gets in it. So, I mean, he could play downhill, but I think that he's definitely going to have to put on some weight, because all that little sneaking around stuff ain't going to work like that at the next level. There's going to be somebody on the goal line that's shooting next level to put a hat on that linebacker right there. So that's why I said I think he's going to need some time to learn how to use his hands to destroy blocks, things of that nature. But he's definitely a sure wrap-up tackler. That's something that, he just instinctively does. That's what you want to see in a linebacker. You want to see that bull in the china shop kind of mentality where he's not afraid to stick his helmet into the mix and get some scrapes on it. So that's something that, you can't really teach a linebacker. That's one of those innate things. Either you're born with it or either you got it or you don't, right? So he's that kind of guy. I think he can run. He can move. He's not stiff. He's just, he's not ultra dynamic. He's not like a kid that you're going to see at a camp and be like, yo, that's a 5-star right there. But he's a damn good player. He's smart. I think he was all state. Georgia, he plays for Valdosta. That's good competition out there in Georgia. Probably been playing football his whole damn life, and, he's a guy. He's a good player. And if there would have been camps, I think that he would have picked up more offers and he wouldn't be just committing to Louisville right now with Cincinnati, Coastal Carolina, and some other G5 school. I can't remember off the top of my head. I actually spoke to my source at Cincinnati, and they were saying they really liked the kid, and they were recruiting him and Jack Dingle, but they ended up getting Jack Dingle, so they didn't have a spot for him. And, Luke Fickell and Marcus Freeman and all those dudes out there at Cincinnati. They do a good job developing players and identifying talent the same way that Satterfield did at App State. So, like I said, dude would have picked up more offers had he camped and all that good stuff, and we weren't living in the middle of the apocalypse talking about where high school kids are going to go to football. So, play their football, my bad. The next question is from Cardinal for Life 32. He says, is the plan to wait on Sanders? Nope. And take TJ Lewis as QB2 or an athlete? All right. Like I said, Sanders is out. So, no, that's not the plan. So, Sanders is out, but blast from the past. Everybody wants to know about TJ Lewis, Jaylon Henderson. But remember a long time ago, I told you about a kid from Fort Lauderdale named Nick Vattiato. Well, I'm hearing that Vattiato, it's fun to say, is actually emerging as the guy. Now, I was told that this kid's actually been Ponce's dude for a while now. He just got to keep pounding the table. And you might say to yourself, what do you mean that was the quarterback's coach's guy and he got to keep pounding the table? Well, the quarterback coach ain't the head coach. And sometimes position coaches have to go and pound the table for their guys. And eventually they get their way, you know. So there's a board, there's a big board, and, you know, everybody has their input. Everybody has their input on who they like, but ultimately, you know, the head coach is the dude at the end of the day who says, I want this guy playing this position. You coach him up. But it's always been Ponce's guys, what I was told. So if you see Vattiato get an offer anytime soon, I think there's a commitment coming right behind it, all right? So Nick Vattiato, and he's a guy you want to watch out for. I guess I'll share my screen with y'all, and you guys can watch his film while I answer the other questions that you guys may have in this chat, if I can find it. There we go. All right, so check him out. He's listed at 5'11" on his Rivals profile, but I was told, you know, hey, he might be 6 foot, he might be 6'1", and I asked, well, why haven't you offered this guy already? And the answers that I got were kind of like, I didn't like him. I didn't accept the answer. It was about, you know, oh, well, maybe he's this height or he's that height. And I'm like, it don't matter. You roll the quarterback out most of the time. It's not like you're thinking and dunking, and the kid has an over-the-top delivery anyway. Look, actually, maybe not. It's about coming past the ear hole, it looks like, right? Let's check it out again. Yeah, it's kind of a 3/4 delivery. But anyway, the dude can throw. I like him. He's nifty. He's creative. He's just not as big as you want. But I mean, he's the same size as Malik Cunningham, Kyle Cunningham. I forgot what he called himself. But that's to me, I like the kid. I have no problem with him. He's a winner. He's playing down there in Fort Lauderdale against tough competition. Like, you see the ball comes out quick. I mean, there's a little bit behind the guy, but he's got the arm to get it down there. And in Satterfield's offense, most of the time you're rolling out and you're hitting the guy that's open because the safety got caught window shopping and he took a misdirected step, and now, you know, Tutu's streaking down the field running the slot go. You know what I mean? And you see right here, the kid's tough. He got moxie. I like him. So who knows? He could be the guy. So keep watching this. I'm going to answer the next question from Card for Life 32. You need a few really good Kentucky kids in 2022 to come. Seems like Selah is definitely favoring U of L. Yeah, I think so. I think U of L is the best fit for him, to be honest. He's not your biggest dude, you know. He's not like Taj Rice's size. He's about 6'1" on a good day, probably about 260 right now. But he's crafty and he's sneaky and he gets penetration. He knows how to get skinny. He knows how to use technique, good pad level, and he's got good get off. So, you know, he might not be that big, but, you know, he uses what he has. You know, tactics means using what you got to your best ability, right? And what he's got is the ability to bend, to get low under people. He's got good get off. So that's what Louisville wants in their D linemen. You know, they want guys that are disruptive because, you know, it's hard to go out and recruit these big twitchy dudes. So they're just going at it from more of a a guerrilla warfare style, which is, we're going to attack with uh, smaller, faster forces that are more mobile than your big juggernauts or whatever you want to call those dudes that the top 5 schools in the country get every year. They're not going to get those dudes, so they're trying to tactically use what they can get, right? So I think Selah definitely fits that bill for Louisville. On the other hand, when you say you need a few good Kentucky kids in 2022 to come, define need. Why? I mean, if the kid is from Kentucky and he can play, sign him up. But don't sign him up just for the sake of saying, oh, we won the state of Kentucky, because who cares? You know what I mean? If you get a bunch of kids from Kentucky that aren't better than the kids from Tennessee or Indiana or California or South Dakota, none of that matters. You know what I mean? So whatever. As far as the 22 kids that are out there, I did make a list. I didn't make a list, but I plug them in the search. So you got a kid named Caleb Perry out of Georgetown. He's a big 6'3" kid who can play safety and quarterback out there. I forget the name of the school. It's a small school I never heard of. But Louisville hasn't offered him yet, and I don't know that they will. Dane Key, he's a 6'2", 170-pound receiver out of Frederick Douglass. I think his style play probably fits better with Kentucky. I think he's from Lexington, so I think he's gonna end up at Kentucky. That's a good fit for him out there, for real. And I know this is a Louisville fan site, but he's a big receiver who is a good. He's a guy that moves the chains. He can block. He's a hard-nosed kid, but he's not like one of the guys that Louisville would want, where you're basically just like taking the top off, right? Key's a guy who is going to get you 7-8 catches for 68, 75 yards and a touchdown type of dude. And I think that his skill set is best fit with Kentucky, who likes those big physical receivers, right? Michael Hawkins, he's from Somerset. He's a 2022 kid. Louisville ain't offered him. Caden Veltkamp, he is South Warren quarterback. I think he's got an offer from Kentucky, 6'5". He can move. I saw him in one game do a nice post corner route for a touchdown as a junior. No, as a sophomore. So first game, sophomore season, threw a real nice throw. I was hoping to get out there and check him out this year. If we have a season, he'll probably be one of the first kids I go check out, him and Jansen Dunn. So, we'll see if Louisville offers him. I don't know that he necessarily fits what Louisville likes to do. But then again, I didn't think T-Webb fit what Louisville likes to do. So maybe Louisville doesn't have a set thing they like to do. Maybe they just will get the players they want and adjust accordingly. Jawan Northington, known as Juan from people back in the day who remember him playing for, I want to say it was the Yellow Jackets. He's a guy that has offers from Purdue, Indiana, Kentucky, and Cincinnati. Don't necessarily know that where he is on Louisville's board right now. I think they have other people higher than him. Jamario Austin. Jamario Austin is a kid from Georgia who I spoke to, and I'll have that interview up tomorrow. He's one of the top running backs in the country, and he really likes Louisville, and he's got a good relationship with Norv McKenzie, the running back coach. So keep an eye out for him. All right. Grant Bingham is a big time tackle out of Paintsville. He plays for Johnson Central. Johnson Central kids probably ain't gonna come to Louisville. He's probably gonna go to either like Kentucky or West Virginia, Virginia Tech even. You can see that kind of thing happening out that way. Jamario Smith. Jamario Smith is he goes to Fairdown now. He's a small kid, but he's fast. I saw him the other day. He's probably a 4'4" kid. He doesn't have an offer from Louisville. He's more like the Van Cleve kid who ended up going to Wofford. He actually won Mr. Football in Kentucky over Rondale Moore in 2017, I think it was, or whatever year that was. So he's not a guy. Isaac McNamee, who the heck is he? Take a look at him real quick. Man, I hate this. Get out of my way. All right, Mac, what are you looking like here? Cool. My internet's moving super slow right now. Pro style, 6'4", 200 from Pikeville. Uh-oh. He's got Eastern Kentucky and Marshall. I don't know. Let's see what he's working with. Let's see. 2,464 yards, 3 touchdowns. Out there in Pikeville, huh? This is the state championship game against Somerset. Okay, I remember that kid. Yeah, that kid's good. It's funny, though, because the other kid whose name is escaping me for Somerset, is that Somerset? I don't know. Never mind. Shore is the kid's name. He's committed to Kentucky. Let's see what we're working with. That's a well-placed ball. He threw that receiver open right there. Winds up, chucks it. I mean, it's hard to, the dude was wide open. Keeps his eyes downfield. I like that. I mean, I don't know. He's a big kid. I'm not seeing like a rocket on him though. That one a bad throw right there. Receiver had to slow up a little bit for it though. The play action. Hey, looks like I'm gonna have to take a trip out to Pikeville. I like that kid. He's all right. Not mad at him. 6'4", 210. Not necessarily like the most mobile dude I've ever seen, but he ain't a statue. Travion Longmire is running back from Corbin. I don't think he's going to go to Louisville. Jadarian Smith is a defensive end from Ballard. He was offered by Louisville. I could see him committing. I know Jadarian personally. He played for the Flagey Rams when he was in middle school with my son Jace. Keontae Goodwin. Everyone knows about Keontae Goodwin. He's 6'8", 325 pounds. Last year, he weighed about 420. Very sluggish, could barely get off the ball. People watched his film and said, man, this kid's overrated. So Chris Vaughn trains him, got him, stuck him in the gym for the last 9 months. The kid basically lives in there, literally. And he's dropped 100 pounds, and he looks good. He can move. I'm sure you've seen the clips. If you haven't, hit me up on the board, and I'll post them on there for you guys to check it out. But I like Louisville. I like Louisville a lot for Keontae, and I think he has a good relationship with Lackford, and I think that his trainer, Chris, prefers to see him stay close to home so he can kind of, monitor his diet. Ty Bryant, and his make sure that he's doing the stuff he needs to do. Plus, he's real close with his mom. I don't think his mom wants him to go far away. But, I mean, the big schools have already come offering him. I know he has a good relationship with Tennessee and Kentucky as well. So they're, not too far from home. I expect Ohio State to come knocking. And, he's got offers from USC. He's got a lot of options right now. And if we have a season and he's able to get some film, I think you're looking at a kid who could potentially blow up to a 5-star level. I mean, he's pretty much cut from the same cloth as Mekhi Becton. So keep an eye out for that. Jax Rogers, linebacker I've never heard of. Gavin Wimsatt. Ty Bryant is from Frederick Douglass. He's a corner or a safety. He's a corner. I don't know that Louisville offered him. He's from Frederick Douglass, so he's probably not going to Louisville, so whatever. I don't know who Jax Rogers is. Gavin Wimsatt, though, is a kid I wanted to talk about. He is from Owensboro, and he's big, and he's pretty good, and everybody's on him. I keep missing him. Like, he's at events that I go to, but I end up talking to the people I need to talk to and leave, and I forget, oh, man, Wimsatt. And then he's a Louisville. He's a Kentucky kid. So I'm like, I can catch him any other time. I hate how they do the spotlight video right here. It's terrible. But anyway, if you don't know about him, he's probably going to be a 4-star level kid. Josh wrote something up about him. Let's see what Josh had to say about Gavin Wimsatt here, since I didn't get to talk to him. Josh says, there were several young quarterbacks with offers I was interested in seeing on Saturday, and from that group, I came away the most impressed with Wimsatt. It's easy to see why the rising junior already holds double-digit offers, and he was a top overall quarterback I saw. Wimsatt had great size, clean throwing mechanics, and spins a beautiful football. I will say that camp did not have any one-on-ones or anything of that nature because of the COVID. So, I mean, what can you really take away from seeing a kid run through some cones, run a 40, and throw against air to the receivers and drills? Not a big fan of that, whatever. But Gavin Wimsatt, keep an eye on him. I talked to his coach, and he said Louisville is definitely an option. They like Scott Satterfield. They like that offense. They think he can thrive in it, and it's kind of similar to what they do out there. Now, I haven't seen an Owensboro football game, so I can't tell you if he was just being polite and blowing smoke or if that's actually the truth or not. But, you know, Owensboro coach is usually pretty straightforward with me, so we'll see how that works out. If we have a season, I'm definitely going out there to watch it. Now, I was asked, man, I'm not even halfway done with this. I got to get a move on. Do you think it is a really bad thing if U of L doesn't land a single kid from the state of Kentucky in the class of 21? Nah, I'm not a big fan of the 21 Kentucky class, so whatever. Besides Selah, are there any 22 players U of L seem to be in a good spot for? Yeah, I told you, Keontae Goodwin, Jadarian Smith, and I think that they got a legitimate shot at Wimsatt if that's the guy they really want. All right, so take that for what it's worth. Saturday is for the boys, spelled Saturday like Coach Saturday. Are we officially back in the mix for Bossa? He's talking about Jeffrey Bossa out there in Oregon. I think Louisville is in the mix, but I don't think that they're going to get him. I think he's going to go to Oregon. So that's what that is. Or Utah. Also, anything on where we sit with O-line William Parker? Already answered that one. Cool. Told you, I think, Bama, Tennessee kind of stuff going on there. Vincent74 asks, is the staff still wanting to take a safety prospect? And if so, who is the most likely one? I don't know. I think they're kind of cool with safety because they're moving Ben Perry back there for the time being. Next week I'll be like, oh, they moved Ben Perry back to linebacker and they got a safety, probably Jeffrey Bossa, who I just said is going to Oregon. But I think they're cool right now with safety. I think they might take Damon David if he wanted to jump on. I'm pretty sure they would because he looks good. But I don't know, man. Just they'll play it by ear. Like I said, tight end, quarterback, tackle, and one more linebacker. Okay, that's what it is. But if some 5-star safety wanted to come on and all they had was a spot left for a tackle, they'll take the 5-star safety. Cardinal Cass asks, what are going to be the big positions of need for the 22 class? Seems like we'll have quite a bit of young depth everywhere once the 21 class gets on campus if everything holds. Well, they've been recruiting the positions the right way under Satterfield. So I guess the big position, the need for the 22 class depends on if anybody leaves early in the 21 class. O-line, D-line is always big need for anybody, no matter what default, that's what it is. I don't know, quarterback, running back, they only took one this year. They didn't take one last year. So I would say running back, they probably going to need to take 2 there. Tight end, they'll probably be cool if they can get Peterson in the mix. But they'll definitely take one more. O-line is looking pretty good. They got 5 last year. They're probably going to end up with 4 this year. And they got some young talent coming in. So maybe 3 next year. Center, tackle, guard, cornerback. They're looking good there number-wise. We'll see. I guess they would take 2 more in the next class. I think you're just going to see, I think you're going to see it kind of calm down, and you're going to see reasonable numbers at each position like you normally would. 3 receivers, 1 tight end, 4 linemen, 2 running backs, 1 running back that'll alternate year to year. Cornerbacks will be 2, safeties will be 3, linebackers 3. You'll see it like that. That's probably how it's going to work out. But I haven't really looked over the roster for 22. I've just been looking at who they've signed the last couple of years, and attrition comes in. So right now, I think they're pretty. I think they're pretty even across the board, especially the way this class has worked out with the different positions. So we'll see. But I think they kind of went to normal as far as the numbers are slotted for each position going forward. All right. Jack H1, why are you done covering Sanders? Yeah, Jack is the one that wanted to know why I was done because I found out he's going to FAU. So no need to cover him anymore. And everybody's going to be all bummed out. But really, I mean, why? Because it was Deion Sanders' kid? You think that Deion Sanders' name is going to blow up? How did it do for SMU when Deion Sanders Jr. went there? Huh? Did you guys watch Deion? Did you watch Deion Sanders' career at SMU or wherever he went? No. Shiloh Sanders is a cornerback from South Carolina. Did you even know that? You know, you want Deion Sanders, you want a helicopter dad around your program? I mean, what are you talking about here? Also, I wouldn't be surprised if you see Deion Sanders end up on the FAU staff. I mean, he's cool with Willie Taggart. Who knows? That's my tinfoil hat segment of the show. Louisville first card forever says, oh, no, that's a comment, not a question. Oh, he does answer a question. Since nobody else has replied, I guess I'll throw out one more. How are things looking with Armand Bethea? I don't know who that is. I don't know. Let's find out who Armand Bethea is. I'm sure I mentioned him before, but that name has not come up at all. So let's see who. Oh, you know who they liked on the line but blew up, and I don't think they're going to get him is Tyler Merrow. He's a kid that really blew up. Oh, okay. Armand Bethea is the kid from Brooklyn that they offered recently. Yeah, he's one to watch for sure. They just offered him. That's kind of how, Louisville is. If you see them send out a group of new offers for kids, it's probably because they missed out on some other ones. He got a lot of offers. He has Georgia Tech, Kansas, Louisville, Miami, Pitt, Syracuse, West Virginia. Don't know how many of those are committable or not. The thing that scares me is he's from Brooklyn and Rutgers didn't offer him, and he visited Rutgers in January. So what's up with that? I don't know. Come on, Rutgers is selective now. Rutgers is up there in the rankings. They're at top. I think they might be a little bit behind Louisville. I think Louisville jumped to 12th today with the commitment of Alderman. So I think Rutgers is like 18th, 17th. So Rutgers is being picky, Let's see. Louisville has jumped to 13th. They jumped Notre Dame, Wisconsin, and Iowa because they were sitting at 1,380 points, and Alderman's commitment was worth 60 points. So that jumped them 1 point ahead of Iowa, who has 1,439. Now, Iowa only has 17 commits. Wisconsin only has 15, and Notre Dame has 12. And Alabama is at 17th, and they have 11 commits, okay? So they're definitely going to jump back up there. But Louisville's average star rating is 2.95, which is right below a 3-star. And once they get, a couple more commitments, those 2 stars will drop out and the average will go up. So, and those 2 stars could get bumps up to 3 stars too, so that'll help their points. I think Louisville finishes top 25. Rutgers is 20th. You didn't ask, but that's where my mind went. So sorry about that. MRP7 says, what's your opinion of TJ Lewis as a quarterback? Super raw, but super fast, big kid. And he's just going to have to get developed at the quarterback position. But I see the intrigue there. And if he doesn't work out at quarterback, I mean, he could be an H-back. He could be a receiver. So tons of upside, tons of potential, and position versatility for that kid. So I like him, but, he could develop as a good quarterback too. So I wouldn't count Frank Ponce out. I like him. I'm not an evaluator. He also, MRP7 also says, I'm not an evaluator of talent. I thought his film was pretty good. I know it's just highlights, so take that with a grain of salt. Yes. Never seen, as Mike Farrell would say, I've never seen a kid throw an interception on his huddle highlights. But everyone seems to be writing him off as a QB and talking about him moving to another position. What are his strengths and weaknesses that you see? I think his strengths are that he's a tall, long athlete who can run. But as far as his weaknesses go, he's just a raw quarterback. He's a kid that needs some more development. He's throwing balls behind kids. His timing is off. Like his mechanics are raw, but it's there. I mean, he flashes at times. And you're like, whoa, But I just think that he needs more work. I'm not saying the kid can't make it happen. I ain't trying to crush the kid's dreams or anything like that. But I just think, when it comes to quarterback, it's the most important position on the field, and that quarterback is the key to these coaches making those big mortgage payments on those nice mansions they got with the lakes in the backyard. You know what I mean? So if you can't step in right away and cut it in a position of need, then you probably are going to get moved somewhere else. You know what I mean? Mac and Sack asks, how are we looking with Tyler Wimsatt? I think Tyler is the uncle who used to play for Louisville back in the first Petrino era. You're talking about Gavin Wimsatt. I knew his uncle when he played at U of L, but got dismissed. They didn't get dismissed? Huh? I didn't know that. Drop that dirt on the board for us, man. Will that kid be a 4 or 5 star type of kid? I think he can definitely be one of the Rivals 250s. He could be a 4-star. Just depends. He's got a good frame, got a good arm. And I talked to a couple coaches at Frederick Douglass. I talked to David Parks, who's Walker Parks' father. Walker Parks was a number 1 rated kid in the 20 class, I believe. Anyway, he's a 4-star and went to Clemson. And David always shoots me straight. I said, "What's up with the Wimsatt kid? Is it all hype?" And he was like, "Nah, that kid kept that team in the game. He's really good." And he said he's a guy. He's definitely a guy. So I'm not trying to hype the kid up. I haven't seen him. I have not seen him. But based upon what everybody else that's telling me that I respect and trust, they're saying that he's a guy to watch for sure. Saturdays is for the boy. He's going to be the last question here. And he says, no one needs to be worried. We can start worrying if we miss out on a local kid like Gavin Wimsatt in the class of 2020. I wouldn't worry at all. It's just a game. All right, everybody. Sorry this ran so long, but that'll do it. And I will see you guys on the flip. Peace.